I'm Matt McClure, and this is Currents. Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, helping people pray better.
To work with that person, how to be patient with one another, be merciful with one another.
Why go to Florida this summer when Calcutta is just as nice?
We've seen a huge explosion in the interest in international volunteering.
From the saint who brought you the calendar, a carnival.
It's not just the biggest event for the church, it's the biggest event in Bellerose.
Thanks for joining us. Francesca Maxime has the night off. Well, King David did it, lovers of gospel music do it, and now devout Catholics are starting to do it too. It's dance, but dance as a kind of prayer. And at Our Lady of Good Counsel in Manhattan, couples are discovering that some of the steps to a richer spiritual life just might include the cha-cha-cha. Nathalia Ortiz has more.
They say it takes two to tango, but who'd have thought the two were rhythm and religion? Alan Edgington is a pioneer in the act of ministering through dance. He created this Catholic ballroom dance class just 3 months ago, and already, as you can see, he's got a pretty strong following.
So even though this parish hall is under repair, stuff is covered in plastic, the show must go on, as they say, and so you are here to teach this salsa slash cha-cha slash tango class today. Why?
It builds community, builds relationships, and it's done something powerful in my life, and I just want to share it with others.
Alan says becoming a ballroom dancer was a calling he received from up above.
And I actually prayed. I said, God, give me something that's safe. You know, I said, why do I keep going out to the club? I'm partying, doing all this stuff, and I'm falling back in trouble. I felt the Lord spoke to my heart. He says, because you're a dancer. I said, well, then give me a safe place to dance.
And his wish came true. He found a safe place to dance and the opportunity to make a difference in people's spiritual life.
The goal is to bring people to Christ and know the love of God.
What do you say to people who think, well, maybe it's just going to be too preachy?
And as someone that's an unbeliever and has never experienced, you know, the walk of faith, I use words like love, because that's universal.
Whether it's salsa, rumba, or tango, Alan says dancing will teach you skills that will help you move through life.
You're learning to work with that person, how to be patient with one another, be merciful with one another.
But what would a dance be without a touch of romance?
Rumba says, I want to bring you to me, you know, I'm calling you and you come chase me. You know, Bolero says, we're married, we love each other, it's a love story.
What does salsa say?
Salsa says, it's fun and flirty,
okay.
You know. It says, for the guy that's, you know, the recognition person says, check me out, you know, let me move, blah, blah, you know.
I think I'm at the salsa stage.
Yeah.
And what about people who think that dancing, especially salsa or rumba, may be a little too sexy for the church to be involved in?
Yeah, well, you want sexuality, you do want to feel, the ladies do want to feel feminine, they want to feel beautiful, they want to feel pretty, the guys want to feel masculine, and the dances provide that, and that's a good thing.
And speaking of masculinity, Christopher Collins has been taking the class since it began and says dancing on a Wednesday night is far better than the alternative.
Here we are having some fun. It's a weekday night. What am I going to do, watch Hannity and Combs or something like that? You know?
But whether you're in it for the fun or for the faith, this class is sure to lead you in the right direction.
And if you'd like to get into the swing of things yourself, just go on over to our website. It's netny.net/currents. Click on Riding the Wave there, and you'll see where our Nathalia Ortiz has posted more information about the Catholic ballroom dancing class. Stay with us. Coming up, we'll have the day's headlines. Welcome back to Currents. I'm Matt McClure. Later on in the show, we'll bring you the sights and sounds of a summer festival that began this past weekend in Bellerose. But first, today's headlines. The U.S. Bishops' Conference issued a statement of support for Bishop John M. Darcy of the Diocese of Fort Wayne, South Bend. The bishops noted Darcy's concern for Notre Dame following the school's decision to honor President Obama. Now, that school's decision proved to be controversial because Obama is a supporter of abortion rights. A priest who was badly injured 5 years ago by a roadside bomb in Iraq has died. Father Timothy Vakic was believed to be the first military chaplain wounded there. Father Vakic lost an eye and suffered serious brain damage in the blast. He died in a nursing home in suburban Minneapolis this weekend. He was just 49 years old. Cardinal John Henry Newman may be one step closer to sainthood. The Congregation for the Cause of Saints has confirmed that a deacon in Boston was miraculously cured of spinal disorder after praying to Newman for help. A second miracle is needed before the cardinal can be declared a saint. Well, another miracle is under investigation in Kansas, where a 20-year-old man survived a severe head injury last year. Family and friends had prayed for the intercession of Father Emil Capon, an Army chaplain who died in the Korean War. The injured man's skull was cracked from ear to ear in a pole vaulting accident, but just a few weeks later, he walked out of the hospital. Well, Pope Benedict says all priests should try to imitate St. Padre Pio. The Pope celebrated Mass on Sunday outside the church in San Giovanni Rotondo, where St. Pio is buried. Pope Benedict says that the hours Pio spent in the confessional and his care for the sick make him a model that all priests can follow. Well, priests aren't the only ones in need of positive role models. As we hear from Rome Reports, one priest says all men need to have a good self-image.
After Philip Chavez was ordained a priest, he noticed that men often suffered from insecurity or a profound feeling of inferiority. He believes these problems hinder them from having normal relationships with women. That's why he decided to focus his efforts exclusively to helping men recuperate a better sense of their self-worth in order to be good husbands, fathers, and leaders. He says the first step to being authentic men is to remember that they themselves are sons and that their fathers love them the way they are.
It's very hard to move forward and navigate through life as being a brother who can mingle with other men, or being a strong man, or a husband, or father, or a sage, without this identity of knowing that we're deep down, that we're loved, we're treasured, we're honored by our own fathers.
That's why if you have children, educating them means denying them many things, but also reminding them that they are loved.
A son needs to know that he's cherished, that he's valued, that he's loved very deeply. He needs to feel this and express this, feels that, and have the expression actually from his father.
Father Chavez says that while women don't have trouble showing affection to their children, men often need someone to teach them how to do the same.
The father gives other values, continues in some way, we say, the work of the mother. But the father gives us again that sense of navigation in life that we so desperately need. And what happens is many men don't have this. Probably, maybe even the majority of Western men do not hear their fathers tell them, "Son, I love you. Son, you mean everything to me."
This is the only first step of what Father Chavez Amateur Institute calls the journey towards masculinity. He says it's a journey which can also benefit women since it restores the idea of the good men that they've always cherished.
Lady Gaga, Marilyn Manson, Eminem, and the Pope? Well, the British newspaper The Mirror reports Pope Benedict has signed a record deal with Geffen UK. The Pope and Vatican priests will record religious music and prayers to be released as a Christmas album. And who knows, maybe the Pope could go platinum. There are more currents just ahead. Volunteering your summer vacation.
Teaching English or tutoring. It could be helping out in an orphanage, conservation type projects as well.
Well, yesterday was the first day of summer, and many people are thinking about their vacation. You may be going down your list. Okay, the Jersey Shore, New England, Florida, the Bahamas. Chances are a third world country doesn't appear there, but it's becoming a growing trend recently to actually go to a third world country to help people out. People are volunteering their vacation time to help others. Well, last week I spoke with Genevieve Brown. She's the Executive Director of International Volunteer Program Association. Tell me a little bit about the organization and what you do.
Great. The IVPA stands for International Volunteer Programs Association. It's a national association for organizations that are involved in international volunteering abroad. So they organize trips and internships abroad for people that want to go and serve.
Great. So you kind of give them the old seal of approval there.
Exactly. To become a member, they have to adhere to the best practices and principles listed on our website and go through a rigorous application process.
What are some of those standards that you hold them to?
They deal with program standards, so are they upfront about their program costs? It deals with the programmatic side, so how are they involved in the community? Is it a partnership? Are they using local partner organizations as well? It runs the gamut. There's 35 different best practices.
Gotcha. So you cracked the whip on
Yes.
That. Okay, great. Now, what kinds of things do volunteers go to do and help out with? You said that your standards run the gamut. Is this kind of one of those things that runs the gamut as well?
Definitely. We've seen a huge explosion in the interest in international volunteering, and so there are a wide variety of options for people that are interested. A lot of it are for short-term, perhaps unskilled volunteers. So it could be teaching English or tutoring. It could be helping out in an orphanage, conservation type projects as well, to manual labor, helping build homes and painting. So.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you as we're having a conversation before we went on air with this segment about an experience that I had several years ago. I went with my church as a chaperone on a trip to actually Indianapolis, and it was a great experience just from my point of view. It was so fulfilling because what we did was we kind of split off into different groups and actually helped put gutters on people's homes, paint their garage if they needed it, make some repairs around the house. And actually the woman that we worked with, she was an elderly handicapped woman who was living under the poverty line. So it was just a very fulfilling experience. What kind of stories do you hear from folks who have come back from going on a trip like this?
Yeah, alumni report that it really impacts their life in a positive way. They feel like they now have a broader understanding of cultural experiences as well as what people are living like around the world. It gives them a great appreciation for what they have. A lot of times people are volunteering with the poorest of the poor, and so it makes them realize that they perhaps don't need a lot of things in their life that they thought they needed before. And they just come away with a love of the community that they're serving. And I think that's a really important aspect. It builds cross-cultural understanding.
Yeah. Well, I definitely know that all of that was true, and from my personal experience, from being involved in that, it just really helps to help those that are less fortunate, because it kind of makes you realize in your life that there's a lot of things that we actually take for granted.
Sure, definitely.
Now, with all of that being said, where are some of the places that folks can go to through these groups? I mean, it's not just something here in the U.S. I heard you mention around the world.
Definitely, around the world. Some popular destinations for American volunteers include Peru, Costa Rica, as well as South Africa, India. You can really pick where you want to serve if you have a specific interest in a culture or geographic location. You can pick.
Pick and choose.
Pick and choose.
From the long list, right?
From the long list, really.
Well, we're kind of, framing all this around the fact that it is now summertime officially.
Yes.
Is this just a summertime thing, or do these organizations do this sort of thing year-round?
People do it year-round. We do see an increase in the summertime because usually people have time off or want to take that summer vacation. But trips can be arranged around your schedule. It could be, as short as a week to a year. And so there's a wide variety of opportunity to do this sort of volunteering.
Yeah. Something great definitely to be involved in. And you can visit our Currents blog at netny.net/currents. You can click on Riding the Wave there. I've posted some more information on the International Volunteer Program Association, and you'll find out how you can get involved. Well, there's more Currents just ahead. They have it in Brazil and Bellerose, a carnival.
I think the best thing about this festival is that some of my best friends I met through the festival.
Well, we've already talked about volunteering on your summer vacation, but if you're staying right here, and now that summer is here officially, 'tis the season for festivals. And our cameras were in Bellerose, Queens on Sunday for the opening weekend of the St. Gregory the Great Festival.
It's the biggest thing in Bellerose. We always, Father Cunningham says, it's not just the biggest event for the church, it's the biggest event in Bellerose.
Because we run for 11 nights. Most people have it on weekend or 2 weekends, but we go for 11 nights.
This is our 30th anniversary of the festival. We started 30 years ago as sort of a offshoot of casino nights that we had and bingo, and it just blossomed into the festival, and this is our 30th anniversary.
We began in 1979. It began when Father Monsignor Pinto was an associate here in St. Gregory's. They needed some means of raising money for the school, and he began it with some members from the parish, and it has worked ever since and grown ever since.
It's a fundraiser for the school, help keep the tuition down and encourage people to come to the school, keep the tuition low. And as you can see, it's a big event. We have hundreds of workers, over 500 workers just from the parish.
This is really for them. It makes us keep the tuition down for them. And that's what we want to continue to do so that we have a strong school and the people can still afford it.
Next weekend will be Italian weekend, and the music and the food will be consistent with that theme. We have 2 German nights, we have a Polish night, we have a rock and roll night, and every night the food is based on that particular culture. And we make all our food on site, nothing is catered, everything's made fresh daily, and we have a band every night, no DJs, live bands every night.
We have a final mass on Sunday at 5:15, and it's going to be Italian weekend, so it'll be the end of Italian weekend. And we have a bishop who happens to be Italian, Bishop Caggiano, who has said that he would come back and do the mass for us. So we're looking forward to that.
I like to eat the food, so my favorite is the food. I don't do the rides, but when my nieces and nephew come, I do the rides with them. But I partake in the food.
My favorite ride or booth is probably we have a local ambulance corps comes in, takes the blood pressure. That's my favorite booth.
I think the best thing about this festival is that some of my best friends I met through the festival.
We just pray for good weather, encourage people to come out. We're right at the Cross Island around 88th Avenue in Bellerose. Admission is free, and we run for 11 nights.
Definitely an impressive festival there. I mean, you sometimes think church festival, you think maybe the kids, with face painting and that kind of thing, and that's it. But that's not the case at the St. Gregory the Great Festival. I would kind of be like the one guy said, I don't do the rides, but I would definitely be partaking in some of the food as well. Of course, I'd probably put on 15 pounds in 15 minutes, but that's a different topic for a different show. Well, the St. Gregory the Great Festival continues through next Sunday, June 28th. Hopefully, the rain we've been having will have gone away by that time. Well, that is it for this edition of Currents. Now, on tomorrow's show, a family turns tragedy into an opportunity, bringing awareness to the dangers of drunk driving. Very moving story. You'll want to be here for that. All that and more tomorrow right here on Currents. Remember, you can always watch us online. We're at netny.net. And while you're there, let us know what you think. Our email address is dropusaline@currentsny.net. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt McClure. Have a great night.